What's up, everybody? It's your boy Guapo, live from the compound, bringing you another episode of Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. As you can see around me, I'm all by my onesies for a little while. Baby Bruss got a very bad case of I got to do my algebra bug, so he won't be joining us tonight. But little Guapo is in travel mode right now, so he'll be joining us just a little bit later. But what's up to everybody? Glad you're all here. I want to give out a few thank yous real quick. Of course, thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for our intro music. The track's called Head Rush. The album's called Monsters, and there's not a bad track on that album. You can get it anywhere you get your streaming services, so make sure you're checking out that album. And find them on their socials. Tell them what's up. Tell them how much you like the song. Also want to give a thank you to the one and only, the man behind the scenes, the man that makes me look good, the guy. So it's been kind of an interesting week. We had a cool opportunity yesterday. Myself, Russ, and Little Guapo were invited to attend Squared Circle Pro's pay-per-view event tonight. The Jake's back room, and wasn't real sure what to expect, but I want to send a thank you out to Rick Elsey and the boys from Squared Circle Pro. What a show. I mean, from start to finish, it was nonstop action the entire time. Stop for a second, say what's up to Moneybags in the chat. Matt, what's happening, man? Glad to see you. So at this Squared Circle Pro show, you had a little bit of everything. You had all of the belts on the line, which is always awesome. We enjoy seeing title matches. We saw people splitting up, groups splitting up. I'll talk about that here in a minute. And we saw people getting together and coming back, finding themselves. Jeb Bingham. You guys might know him as Wild Card. He's wrestled as Wild Card here and there. But Jeb Bingham signed with Squared Circle Pro last night, and really looking forward to see what happens. It's going to be really, really cool. My personal favorite match of the night. Of course, you had really great ones. You had Marquise Jackson and Ryan Justice for the belt. You had Phoenix and Tino Valentino. That was a great match. Really enjoyed that one. But my personal favorite had to have been the match between the Los Carnales. You had Emilio Guzman and Cholo going at each other. I have deemed this one, because of the way they came out. Tio was in a neutral corner, and I have deemed this one 2 chairs and a chancla. That's Tio comes out with a chancla. You got Eddie, or you got I said Eddie. You got Emilio Guzman and Cholo going at each other with chairs. There was blood. It was a match, let me tell you. Big thank you to them for letting us be a part of that. I can't wait till the next one. May the 20th. If you don't have it on your calendar, put it there now. May the 20th, Tornado Slam at Jake's, Squared Circle Pro. It is going to be off the chain for all of my older crowd out there. Appreciate that one. It's going to be an amazing show. Make sure you're there for that one. Speaking of local shows, now last time we were at BCW, had a great time at the Separate Ways show. But there were a few matches announced at that show. You know, you've got Scar, who won his bear hug challenge, find out that he is going to be going against a to-be-determined opponent at their next one. It's called, the next show is called Head Games. It's on May the 6th. And Scar's going to be going against a to-be-determined mystery opponent in a bear hug challenge. So we're looking forward to that. We found out Damian Blood is going to be going against Alton Black, and that's a grudge match in and of itself. So that one's going to get brutal. I'm looking forward to it. And of course, we found out that we're going to have a triple threat match for the BCW Texas title between Ryan Justice and Wildcard, who are having that title match at Head Games. But due to interference, Logan... Am I right about that? That's right. Yeah, Logan is being put into that match. Logan Knight interfered in the match, got it broken up. So Logan Knight, Wildcard, and Ryan Justice are going to go at each other for the BCW Texas title. Well, I got a phone call a little earlier, and I am happy to announce breaking news. I've got another match on that card that was just announced. You've got Emilio Guzman and the War Chief himself. Now, I've seen Emilio Guzman wrestle, and I know what he's capable of. The War Chief, Now, that's a whole different story. This man right now has gotten on a plane. He's doing a tour of Japan right now in preparation for this match. He should be back before just before the match, he's coming back from Japan. So this is going to be a good one. And as I understand it, we're going to be getting a little tidbits of information about this as we go along. So be looking at the socials, be looking at BCW socials, because this card is going to stack up. I can already tell you. I'm so looking forward to that. So also big thanks to Mike for allowing us to be a part of the BCW family. We sure do enjoy that. Um, as far as this week in wrestling, it has been a week. There were some pretty cool things happen this week that we're going to get into a little more when we get into our WrestleMania predictions. WrestleMania is shaping out. There are a few matches I was concerned weren't going to happen, and it looks like they are going to happen. So it's shaping up to be pretty good. In the chat, I would love to hear what your predictions are for WrestleMania, because it's so unpredictable. Was watching a video earlier today about Alexa Bliss. Of course, she's been out since the Royal Rumble. She hasn't had a match since the Royal Rumble. And she said that she will be at the arena. She's going to be at Mania. And since she's going to be in the arena, who knows what her words were, who knows what that means. That could lead to anything, because the WWE is the place that you expect those, or you get what you don't expect. So what's she trying to say there? I'm not sure, but I'm interested to find out. So I don't know how many times that we've gone through and done this. We've gone through the format of giving you the Raw breakdown, giving you the AEW Dynamite breakdown, and then giving you the SmackDown breakdown. We're doing this a little bit different today, and please in the chat, on the socials, let me know what you think about this particular format. But we're going to save AEW for now, and we're going to talk about what happened on Raw, what happened in SmackDown as we give our WrestleMania predictions. There is so much going on with WrestleMania right now. One of the things we're going to talk about a little later, and I'm going to give a kind of a hot take on it, is what's going on with Bray Wyatt. For the longest time, we're supposed to have this match. It's Bray Wyatt and Bobby Lashley. Bray Wyatt shows up after, or just before Elimination Chamber, and says, I want the winner of Brock and Bobby Lashley. Whoever wins, you better run, because I'm coming for you. We get a couple of promos and then disappears. Completely disappears. Haven't seen anything from Bray since that SmackDown where he did, or I guess I don't remember if it was SmackDown or Raw, where he did the big guy dance. Muscle Man dance. So I'm interested to see what happens there, because, you can't just take a star like Bobby Lashley and not give him something to do. So I feel like they have something in the works. I wouldn't mind seeing Bobby Lashley jump in the ring with, I don't know, LA Knight. I think that would be cool. Yeah. See, I can tell you now, the fact that I said, well, yeah, Lady Guapo is going to be in the chat in just a minute telling me how much she hates it when I do that. But, if you hear that, that's one of those taglines that if you hear, it's LA Knight. So I'm interested to see how that goes. Looking over at the chat, Lady Guapo says that Main Event Uso is coming out at Mania. He and Jimmy beat KO and Zayn. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. And then he turns on Jimmy and Jay goes for Reigns. I would like to see that. I would like to see how that turns out. That would be a really cool turn of events there. I mean, I feel like it's going to take a little while for all that to play out, but I could see it. I could see that happening. Lady Guapo says she's not a big fan of LA Knight, but as he's been telling you for the last 3 weeks, you can't have WrestleMania in Hollywood without LA Knight. Yeah. So we keep talking about WrestleMania. Let's talk about the card for a minute. They've kind of got it broken down as to what's going to be on what day. Day one, it's been confirmed that they're going to open Mania with one of the matches I actually thought would be later in the card. John Cena and Theory. Austin Theory and Cena for the United States belt. That's going to open the show. So starting there, how much intensity you're going to get out of that show. Um, the match that was finally done. We have Ray and Dom after that. This match has been years in the making. It seems like I'm looking forward to this because, as Lady Guapo would say, it's time for Dominic to get some pow pows. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this does, and I've got my ideas about it. I'm going to save that for when Little Guapo gets on here, so we can talk about our predictions. You've got the tag team women's showcase. It's going to be Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Shotzi and Natalia versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, and a to be determined tag team. So we're not even sure who the last team in that's going to be, but a fatal four way with women's tag division, you know it's going to be a great match. I was kind of interested to see that while Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi and Natalia had to earn their way in to this, Rousey and Baszler were just kind of placed in it. So, there's a lot of rumblings as to, well, why didn't they have to earn their spot? So, interested to see how that goes. And then, of course, we've got the Hell in a Cell match that everybody's waiting for: Edge versus Finn Balor. This has been something that is a long play. The storytelling in this has been really, really good. It Personal opinion here, but it did get a little bit stale there towards the end. Edge shows up, gets beat down, leaves for a little while, comes back, beat down, leaves for a little while. But I'm interested to see how this plays out. And the biggest thing I'm wanting to see is exactly what Lady Guapo just said. With all the mention of Hell in a Cell and you don't know my demons, and I got kicked out of hell because the demons were scared of me. Is Finn Balor coming back with his Demon King persona? Because to me, that was his best persona. From intro to wrestling moves, that's always been my favorite version of Finn Balor. So I'm hoping that being Hell in a Cell, being one-on-one him and Edge, that's the persona that comes to WrestleMania. The pop that would pull will be insane. And then night one's going to end out with the tag team title match. You've got the brothers Uso versus KO and Sami Zayn, which, how long have we been waiting for Sami Zayn and KO to hug it out, get back together? They're good now. So I like the way KO put it when he told the Usos, there's only one place we can do this. It's the grandest stage of them all. You and your brother versus me and my brother. And so I think that's going to be a match I understand why it's the main event for night one. That moves us into night two, where we'll start the night off with Lita, Becky, and Trish versus Damage Control. I'm loving this match. I'm loving the fact that this match is happening. Just having Becky teamed up with Hall of Famers, that in and of itself makes for a good match. But when you take someone like a Bayley or an Io Sky, Dakota Kai, they put each other's over so well that this is going to be one of those matches where this person hits a big one, this person hits a big one, this person hits a big one, this person hits a big one. Oh, I've just been corrected, and that is correct. There's one more match for night one, and it's a big one. It's Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the women's tag title, for the SmackDown women's tag title. That's going to be a fight. That's not going to be a match. That's going to be a fight. The promos have been a little lackluster, if you ask me. I'm not real happy with them. But when these two start scrapping, it's an all-out brawl. And I really hope what we've seen outside of the ring, when Charlotte jumps Rhea, Rhea jumps Charlotte, they go at each other back and forth, and it's just violent. I'm hoping that translates into Lady Guapo says it right. # street brawl. And I hope that's exactly what it is. And I have an idea who's going to win that one, and I will give that to you here shortly when we do our predictions. Back to night two, these ladies are going to put each other over so well in this first match. The Lita, Becky, and Trish versus Damage Control. That is the proper way to open night two. Um, with after that, we're gonna have Brock and Omos, which I'm not real sure. Like when they signed this match, I was like, "What are you doing?" Don't understand the reasoning for this match. But the more I think about it, the more this match is growing. I'd like to see, Brock's never really had somebody that just dominates the way that Omos does. The dude's like 17 feet tall and all muscle. So Brock's got his work cut out for him if he's going to win this one. After that, the one everybody's talking about, Logan Paul versus Seth freaking Rollins. So Seth Rollins has not been having a good time the last couple of weeks. He's been catching that right hand to the jaw, and it's been putting him down. Logan Paul, if it's possible to say this, that I think maybe that's made him even a little more cocky. So you've got the cocky right-hander versus the veteran in Seth freaking Rollins. Where that one's going to go, I don't know. Lady Guapo saying that's a double heel match. And honestly, I don't agree with that. Seth Rollins is very over right now. So I don't believe that Seth is viewed as a heel in this match. I feel like he's viewed as the face for this match. But I mean, I could see the double heel thought. She and I had talked recently about how the Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley match is going to go because they're both heels. Rhea's being pushed as a heel, and Charlotte Flair, as Little Guapo has said before, is just a natural heel. Like that's her. So that one is for sure a double heel match. Lady Guapo saying that Seth freaking Rollins is just a great heel, and that's true. I can go with that. After that match, day one we get the women's tag showcase. Day two we get the men's tag showcase, which this one's going to be pretty good. You've got Ricochet and Strowman versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. And Lady Guapo and I were talking about this last night. I'm just glad to see Montez Ford in a Mania match. That man has got skills that he has still yet to put on display. And anytime we can get him in the ring is great. And I'm looking forward to that. Ricochet and Strowman, when I first saw them together, I'm like, what are we doing here? But the more I watch, especially Ricochet, I've seen Strowman, I know what he can do, but the more I watch Ricochet, that dude is awesome. Like there's a reason he's in a main event match because Ricochet can do all the things from the high flying stuff to the technical mat work. He can do it all. So I'm happy to see Ricochet and Strowman in this. And like I said, the Street Profits. Alpha Academy, I'm kind of wondering where they're going with that because it's been pretty apparent as of late they're going to split up the Alpha Academy. The Viking Raiders, they're just a couple of brutes. You get them in the ring and they're going to beat on people. And that's exactly what you want in a match like this. So I'm interested to see where that goes. Quick pause to say, Gambit, what's up, man? You're late to the chat, but better late than never, right? We're glad to have you here. Lady Guapo saying she'd love to see Montez Ford and Ricochet in the ring together. That would be explosive. Okay. The way Montez Ford moves, the way Ricochet moves, that's a powder keg waiting to go boom. And I agree wholeheartedly. I'd love to see that. Once we get past that match, we've got the triple threat match for the Intercontinental title, which is Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Gunther. I can tell you right now, Gunther has, I don't know if he's got like steel or what in the back of his hand, but when you watch him smack somebody across the chest, I hurt. I think everybody that watches hurts. And so I expect to see that almost fluorescent skin of Sheamus turn bright, bright red several times. This is just going to be a flat out good match. All of them brawl. You put 3 brawlers in the ring and it's going to be good. In the chat, it says the IC title match is night 1 also. See, and it may be, of course, most of my information that I'm getting off this, I'm getting from the web, and The most recent one I read has it on night two. So that one could be night one, could be night two. But the most recent one I read has it as a match on night two. We also have the Raw Women's title, Bianca Belair and Asuka. I am really looking forward to this. We all know that Bianca Belair is a mat technician and she does it well. And as of late, Asuka has just blown up. She's doing moves that people aren't used to. She's, her submission, I can't even imagine the pain that is. So, Asuka's Asuka against Bianca, that's going to be a long match. You guys need to strap in for that one. That's going to be a long match because they know each other really really well. So they're and I don't think either one of them have an ounce of quit. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And then of course, the main event on night two, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. This has been a very long time coming. Cody Rhodes has had a couple of runs in the WWE, and he talks all the time about how it's time to finish the story. But in the middle of that story is this bookmark called Roman Reigns, who's been the champ for 900 plus days and isn't just going to lay down and let him have it. So this fight, there's a reason this is the main event. It's going to be very, very good match. When you look at a card like this, I mean, it's a 2-day card, so there's a lot of wrestling going on. Lady Guapo is saying in the chat that she fears it's going to be a snooze fest between Reigns and Cody after 8 minutes. I beg to differ, ma'am. I get that the matches we see recently, especially with Roman Reigns, beat on people, get beat on a little bit, come back, Usos come in. There's all of this going on. I see this one being the best of the best in the matches. I really do. And I believe it looks like in the chat you've got a little you got somebody that disagrees with that. For those of you that are listening and not hearing it in the chat, Little Guapo is traveling right now. He's making his way back home, but he is still watching the podcast and he's in the chat and says that Lady Guapo is crazy. That there's no way this is a snooze fest. Lady Guapo says they are too old and pushing too late. They needed the early card. Okay, you need to calm down there, killer. Roman Reigns is a champ and he is a fighting champ and he puts on good matches. That's just what the tribal chief does. He puts on good matches. There's no question to that. But Cody Rhodes has something to prove here. If Roman wins this match, it's just another match for him and he goes on trying to hit that 1,000-day mark for his title run. Cody Rhodes has something to fight for. Not only is he fighting to win the championship, which will be a first in his family. That's his big thing. But he's also got a lot to prove to the WWE as he comes back. He's got a lot to prove to the fans as he comes back from his stint in AEW. And I've got to agree with him when he said straight up, maybe I am just an old school wrestler, but my last fight was without half my pec and I didn't quit then and I'm not going to now. In the chat, it says Reigns does because he's been out of the ring and thus less stamina. And Cody hasn't actually wrestled in how many months now? Cody had a match Friday. Cody went against a member of Imperium. You'll have to forgive me. I don't remember which one, but he had a match against somebody in the Imperium. He's gone against Seth Rollins. That was the match where he had his torn pec. I mean, he's had some matches since he's been back in the WWE. And this one's going to be the big one. When Little Guapo jumps in, this is one of the ones we're going to talk about quite a bit in our predictions because there's a lot of different directions this could go and a lot of ramifications if either one of them win. So As far as Cody goes, he's winning this one for his dad because I can't tell you how many times Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns have, well, I knew your dad and I was the son your dad actually wanted. So he's got his family pride in this. He's got the fact that this is the one he's always wanted. Lady Guapo in the chat with Reigns is winning, but Jay takes him down after the 1,000-day mark. I mean, that is a possibility. That is like I said, there's a lot of ramifications, a lot of different directions this could go, and that is one of them. Let's say Roman Reigns does win the match. How does this affect the bloodline? What happens there? What if the Usos don't win their match? Then how does that play in? There's so many roads this could go down, and it's something that Little Guapo and I are going to talk about. Evolving Carnage. It looks like we just got a new follower. Evolving Carnage. Hey, appreciate you. Glad you're in, man. Thank you for your follow. Thank you for being here tonight. Feel free to jump in the chat. Let's hear some of your opinions as well. While we're taking a moment there, I do want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody that follows us. We finally hit that, 52 followers now? So excited about that. WrestleMania season is a season where they build everything up. And this year, as opposed to some of the years previous, I really like the way they're building. And I've said this before, and I'll throw it out there again. It seems like with Raw and SmackDown that they're building week to week, as opposed to it's 4 weeks until WrestleMania. So we're going to build WrestleMania, build WrestleMania, build WrestleMania, build WrestleMania. Everything happens at WrestleMania. You unpack everything there. They're pushing week to week. And I've really liked that build. Perfect example is the thing with Ray and Dom. Dom challenged Ray. Ray said no. Dom slaps Ray around. Ray says no. On and on and on until Dom gets in his mom's face, tells her to shut up. And now it's time for, as Lady Guapo would say, #PowPows. And I don't know if it's the fact that Trips took over the creative, but that's 100% correct that the storytelling has gotten a lot better. The storytelling is what goes great. And I was speaking with Rick Elsey. He's the promoter and owner there at Squared Circle Pro last night. He said something that stands true. I don't care what level, whether it's the independent all the way up to, your big ones like WWE and AEW. If the storytelling is right, if the storytelling is good, the moves that happen in the ring don't matter. If you tell the story in a way that you're keeping the fans interested in the storyline, they could spend the entire match doing drop toe holds and people aren't going to care because it's the story that has them. And WWE, while our independents that we like to go see, our BCWs, our Squared Circle Pros, our South Plains Championship Wrestling, these guys get that. And it's really good for me to see that they're starting to get back to that at the higher levels. So I want to thank Rick for that conversation because that applies so much to what we have going on right now. Quick question for the chat. Oh, wait, hold on just a second here. Dom's mom should have hit him with the chancla. Yeah. I would pay back in the day, if you want to watch WrestleMania, it was like $60. It was a pay-per-view. You had to pay like $60 to watch WrestleMania. I would pay every dime of that just to watch Dom take a chancla from his mom. That would be great. So, something I'd like to hear from the chat. I've given you the rundown of what the matches are. What are you guys looking forward to seeing? Like, what match has you going, I can't wait till this match starts? There's more than one for me. Of course, the Ray and Dom thing. I need to see that. Rollins and Logan Paul. I've always been a fan of Seth freaking Rollins. Even when he wasn't doing quite as well with his character as he is now, I've still always been a fan. Man's got the second best entrance music in the whole WWE, in my opinion. So that one's going to be a good one as well. I really want to see some of this undercard live up to the hype. And I know that sounds bad the way I say it, but like the Cena Theory match, you're opening the show. I need that to be the show that I know it can be. I need that to be the match that I know both Cena and Theory can put on. Or as Lady Guapo says, Cena and Cena Jr. That's the opening match for day one. The opening match for day two, Lita and Becky and Trish and Damage Control. Not really worried about that one because, like I said earlier, these ladies are going to put each other over all the time. Okay, so apparently we're taking a break from algebra because we just got a follow from Baby Brush Official. Bruss, appreciate you. I don't know why you're not in the chat right now. Oh, yeah, I do, because get your homework done. Sorry, little thing there. We do appreciate the follow, though. Thank you for checking out the podcast. So, Lady Guapo, I got to give a thanks there. Lady Guapo, Mama Bruss, whatever you want to call her. She keeps our chat going, and I appreciate that and want to say a quick thank you for that. But I am interested to see what her matches are, and ask and you will receive. She's got it down here. She's interested in the Lita match, which, okay, I'm a Lita fan from the Attitude Era. Lita's my girl. I'm looking forward to that one. Asuka and Belair, that's going to be a great match. And of course, her man, Jey Uso. And see, if I was saying this like she does, it would be like Jey Uso engine against KO and Sami Zayn. She's a big fan of Jey Uso, as am I. I mean, Jay's awesome. Jay's the future. There's no question about that. I don't know exactly where I want to see that go yet. Like, I've got 3 or 4 different directions that match could go. All of them great because, I mean, you're putting Jay and Jimmy and Sammy and KO in the same ring at the same time. How can this not be a good match? So I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't taken the time to do it, but we'll find out also from the guy. Oh, yours. I should have known. I didn't see it. He put it in there earlier, and I should have known that his match would be the Lita and Trish match because, I mean, it's Lita and Trish. But you guys show some love to Becky too.
I mean, sure.
We both want to see that match for very different reasons.
Good story. I may have to come over and actually watch it.
It's all in all, it's looking like it's going to be a really good WrestleMania weekend. I'm going to go a little deeper now. I know Little Guapo will be in here very, very shortly, but I'm going to go ahead and. Oh, Lady Guapo says big time Bex is taking over Hollywood. I believe it. She's the man. Absolutely. When you're the man and on one side you've got Trish Stratus, on the other side you've got Lita, you're a force to be reckoned with. One of the things I talked about earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and get started on this now. I was going to wait for Little Guapo to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and get started on it now. The whole Bray Wyatt issue. Okay, so here's my take on what happens with the Bobby Lashley storyline. I don't know how many of you are as eagle-eyed as I am, caught this out there, but if you've been watching for the last 6 weeks, every time they talk about WrestleMania, they have a graphic that comes up, looks like an old-time theater for Hollywood. It says WrestleMania at the top of it. Well, there's posters. Just like at a theater where it says coming soon or now playing, the little posters. Well, one of them is Bray Wyatt. And so that leads me to believe last time they started Easter egging things was when Bray Wyatt was making his return. So now you've got this little Easter egg in there. So I was telling Little Guapo yesterday, I did some reading and found out that Carmella had missed a house show and they've already replaced her at WrestleMania. How long has this thing with Bobby Lashley been going on? They're going to do the match. They're not going to do the match. Will they do the match? What's going to happen? Are they going to give Bobby a match? There's no way, in my opinion, again, this is my hot take. There's no way, in my opinion, the WWE waits till a week before WrestleMania to say, oh, we probably better do something with Bobby Lashley. No way they don't do that. So I am putting it out there now that I feel this is a swerve. Absolutely a swerve. The way I see this playing out is that LA Knight's going to come out and say, look, I've beat Rey Mysterio last week at SmackDown. I have done all the things that I need to do. I'm just as qualified as everybody else out here. And once again, you cannot have WrestleMania without, or in Hollywood without LA Knight. Yeah. So I'm going to catch a lot of hell for that later. I just want y'all to know that. So Adam Pearce comes out and says, I'll tell you what, since they're putting the Andre the Giant Memorial Rumble on SmackDown this week, and if you haven't heard that yet, there's the breaking news for you. The Andre the Giant Memorial Rumble is going to happen on SmackDown. So I can see Adam Pearce coming out and telling LA Knight if he wins that, then he'll get a match at WrestleMania. Fast forward to Friday, LA Knight wins. Adam Pearce comes out and tells him, okay, you've got a match at WrestleMania since, we can't have it without LA Knight. And your match is against Bobby Lashley. It's official. Of course, this is going to be a squash match because look at LA Knight, look at Bobby Lashley. But in the middle of this squash match, the lights go out. We get a picture of a returning Alexa Bliss, smiling her crazy smile that she has whenever she's around, the dark stuff. And then out comes Bray Wyatt. And that can go one of two directions. I don't know which one it'll be. That could go the direction of he beats down LA Knight and it goes into continues on what they had already started with Bray and LA Knight, or he could start a brand new storyline with Bobby Lashley and start it there at Mania. That's my hot take on what's going to happen there. So we'll see this weekend if that goes on. I really, really would like to see that happen because either way, if you've got Bray and Bobby Lashley, they have that, I don't want to say they have the same body type or body build because, you got Bray Wyatt and then you've got, Bobby Lashley. So they don't have the same build, but they're the same size. So they would match well together. But we've already got history with Bray and LA Knight. Baby Bruss is in the chat saying it's not a coincidence and it's a hot take for sure, but not impossible. That's the way I feel about it. That's the way I hope it goes down. We'll let Little Guapo get in here and start doing some of his. I'm going to go ahead and start down the list and start giving some of my predictions on what's going to happen because we're already into that almost 45-minute mark. So our first match, John Cena versus Austin Theory. It's going to be a good match. I feel like it's a match to put Austin Theory over. My reasoning for that is that John Cena's not going to have another. I don't think he's at a spot right now where he's ready to jump in and take another title run. Because if he wins this match, he's the U.S. champ. So, and I don't feel like he's ready to make that title run just yet. So, leads me to believe that Austin Theory is going to win this match, and that John Cena is going to put Theory over. And it looks like there's a lot of agreement from the chat as well. Just got a message from Little Guapo. He's going to be in the next couple of minutes. He's getting everything booted up, ready to go right now. I think it could be a good thing, letting Theory win this one. They're giving him a push, and they're pushing him right. I think if he loses this one, a couple of weeks ago, he had that promo on Raw with John Cena where he asked for the match. And I feel like if Theory loses this, all that does is hurt Theory. It doesn't do anything to help out Cena. It just hurts Theory. And oh my goodness, he has arrived. What's up, son? You are here. You are live in the compound. What's up, man? It is what it is. I got a message here. Yeah, I was a little off on that too. I wasn't real sure about that. Okay, so I'm hearing you, but it seems the stream's not hearing you yet.
On it.
All right. Well, while they're working on getting your audio running, what I was saying a minute ago, I really think there's nothing that Cena gains from winning this match, but there's an entire push that gets killed if Theory loses. So I would think that there's, that's the two reasons. There's two reasons there that there's no way Cena wins this match because of how bad it would kill the push of Austin Theory, and because he's not there to make a run right now. So is the chat hearing anything out there from Little Guapo?
About to get explicit in here.
Don't get explicit, because I think the guy just said he got you fixed up.
Sweet. All
And
right.
I heard before you start in on anything, I heard the noise in my ear. Did we just catch another follower?
We did. Justice 8908.
Justice 8908. Man, thank you for joining. Appreciate the follow. Glad to see you here. By all means, please join us in the chat. Let's talk about some WrestleMania. And reading that name, Justice, I gotta wonder if that might be one of our new friends.
Hey, I got the shirt. I'll go put it on right now. Great match. If that is him, it was a great match last night.
Absolutely. And we're of course talking about Ryan Justice. He's the Square Circle Pro champion and had one hell of a match with Marquise Jackson last night.
It was awesome. But
they got that.
All right, I'm gonna stop us for a second and reference Necro Eric here. I haven't had a chance to fully read your comment yet. Let me do a little look in here. What did you guys think of SHP passing by, Limitless Wrestling, Reasonable Doubt, Black Label Pro, XPW, Stardom's opening round of the Cinderella Tournament, N.Y.A.M, Tokyo Joshi Show, All Japan Show, CMML from Arena, Mexico? I'll be straight with you, man.
Shit to talk about.
As far as Necro Eric, there are some of these things that I don't have access to watch. I'm absolutely not against, especially your New Japan, your IGPW. I mean, I think the Japanese style of wrestling is awesome. I think they do amazing things, and I think there's a lot of what happens in wrestling here in the States for the sports entertainment aspect of it that comes from that. Is your All Japan, things like that. As far as Black Label Pro, XPW, I haven't had a chance to check those out. You bringing them to my attention makes me want to, so I will do that, and I appreciate you bringing that to us.
Yeah, and if you could let us know where to find some of it. Like it's hard to watch some of the stuff. It's hard to find it. But we appreciate you bringing it up. If you got any ways to help us, figure some more of it out. We try to keep up with what we can. Mania season's around the corner, next weekend. So we're going to talk about Mania. And, we saw the local promotion yesterday. We talked about that a little bit. It was awesome stuff. Ryan Justice in the chat,
Yeah, we have the champ in the chat. Ryan, so glad you're here. As far as the other things, I mean, we're more than happy to look at them. Like Little Guapo said, I mean, it is WrestleMania season. We're going to talk about our predictions, and I'll go ahead and tell you guys next week that we're going to be, while we're still going to bring you some information from some of our locals, we're going to
Gonna
be
talk about
talking about Mania. Uh,
That is
what,
the Super Bowl.
once we get past that, though, I would like to look into some of these. So if you can't hit us up here, I think I've seen you talk about some of these things on our Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast Facebook. Hit me up, send me a message, give me information on this. I mean, I'm definitely open to checking it out. But we are going to move on just a little bit from that, and I'm ready to get your take on the Cena Theory match, Little Guapo.
Cena is his days of running. I mean, he's not. He's gonna lose. Obviously, it's gonna be huge for Theory. I like Theory. I know a lot of people don't. I like Theory. Um, I think it's gonna be huge for him, and it will hopefully elevate the title. Um, it's the U.S. title. It's started to get a little more notoriety since the feud with Lashley and Rollins. That really helped. But since that ended, it hasn't really been anything.
True.
But I hope it brings some notoriety back to the U.S. Championship, and Theory is going to win. But I think it's going to be a great match. I think it's going to do, like I said, wonders for Theory.
Absolutely.
It's going to bring him. It's going to elevate him. I mean, greatly. He's got the now thing, and he's only. You think he's a ignorant jerk right now. Just wait till after he beats John Cena. What he's going to say the Monday after Raw. Just wait till you got to hear what he says the next Monday.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he's going to have a whole lot to say. That takes us to match number 2, which is the one I'm excited about. Ray and Dom. Hashtag pow pows. So we'll grab your take first.
I think crowd service or fan service. Ray just going into the Hall of Fame. There's a big chance he wins it, I guess. But I think I'm gonna go with Dominic winning it because he's got more to gain from this than Rey Mysterio does. I mean, what better feeling as a father, I guess, to put your son over at WrestleMania.
No, absolutely.
I mean, come on, that's crazy. Yeah,
Well,
how often does that get to happen?
Not often at all. And I look at it at kind of a different angle. I have the same outcome you do. I see Dom winning this one, and the reason for that being Ray's an old school wrestler. And while I know you came in at about the Attitude Era, there is a thought among a lot of the older school wrestlers that the best way to go out when it's time to go, when it's time to retire, you go out on your back. You go out putting somebody else over. And that leans in just to exactly what you said. Who better to put over than your own son? So I think that Dom retires Ray at Mania.
Yeah. I've seen that Ray isn't. I've seen some stuff saying that he's not gonna retire yet. But I mean, what better way to retire than that? But
now I've got to throw something out there on this match, and you and I had discussed this a little bit earlier. All right, so you've got Rey Mysterio, you've got Dom, you've had the whole Eddie should have been my dad thing. You've got this whole Eddie Guerrero aspect that comes to it. Tell me which you'd rather see, because I can honestly see either one of these happening. You've got Rey Mysterio fresh out of his Hall of Fame speech, which he's going to talk about Eddie in.
Yeah.
We get to the WrestleMania match. Dom comes out to his music, does his whole thing, and then it comes time for Ray to come out. You're waiting for the booyaka booyaka. You don't hear it. You hear Viva la Raza. And you see Ray come out in kind of an Eddie gimmick, whether it's with the car, just in a shirt or an Eddie shirt, just whatever. He comes out, and there's the Eddie aspect of honoring him from Ray. Or to get into Ray's head, Dom comes out, and he comes out full bore in the car, in the shirt, Eddie's music, the whole nine. And then, halfway through the match, brings a chair in the ring, throws it to Ray, and lays down on the ground because, that's an Eddie move. Like,
Yeah,
what do you
I
think the
definitely
chances
think
are
we'll
that we see that?
I don't know. I would love to see it. I think I mean, this is probably like 30-60. With a 10% chance that both of them do something. I mean,
It's a
I don't
possibility.
know. I don't know. It's I guess you have to play it safe. I mean, Eddie's family. You got obviously he's not really Dom's not really his son. You don't want to offend Eddie's family, I guess. But
Very true. Very true.
we'll we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I would, if it does happen, I want it to be Dom.
I,
I mean,
I mean, you can't buy heat like that.
yeah, no, no.
All right, that takes us into match 3, which is the women's tag showcase. This is shaping up pretty well. I mean, you've got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, Shotzi and Natalia, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, and then another set of opponents that haven't been announced yet.
It's Baszler and Rousey.
No,
That's what's happening.
they're already in.
No, that's who's winning.
Oh,
Baszler and Rousey.
I could see
That's
it.
who's winning.
I could see it. I think it goes the distance, though. I think it's going to be a longer match, and it's going to be a good one. But in the end,
Yeah, I think so. But
as it stands right now, I would say Rousey and Baszler, but we don't know who the other two. We don't know who the other tag team is.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe like Damage Control joins, but I mean Natalia and Shotzi just a thrown together team. Raquel and Liv just a thrown together team.
Mm-hmm.
Shayna and Ronda, they have a history. I mean, their team up makes sense. It's not just, oh, we're gonna put these two in a tag match and see where it goes. There's a lot there. Like I said, this fourth team, maybe they throw a wrench in my ideology here, but I'm 95% sure it's gonna be Baszler and Rousey.
And it could cause a problem. That is true. We'll have to wait and see who that team is. But as it stands right now, I'm with you on the fact
Party
that it's
boys.
Rousey. This guy. I'm with you on Rousey and Baszler. That brings us to the Hell in a Cell match. It's Edge and Finn Balor, and I'm hoping with all hopes that Finn Balor comes out as the Demon King because I've always enjoyed that persona.
And on Raw, Edge asked him, he's bring out the demon. I want to see the demon. Like, his whole floating head promo? Did you see that?
That was different.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
I wasn't 100% sure what to think about that whole floating head promo.
But he's just like, bring out I mean, I'm pretty positive we're gonna see Demon Finn Balor, but
so let's say Demon Finn Balor does come out. Of course, then you have to have Edge come out to the old Brood music.
yeah, oh yeah.
But what happens? What do you see happening in the match?
Man.
While you're thinking about that, I've got to make mention of something Lady Guapo said. Throwing a partner with Beth Phoenix, like maybe they go ahead and let Mela come back. Mela and Beth Phoenix as your other tag team. I could see it.
That's only going to solidify Rousey and Baszler. So
fair, very fair. But I can still see it.
Yeah. I gotta go against my gut and say Finn Balor's gonna win.
See, and I don't want to say that. I don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Finn, but I don't see Edge making a storyline run after this. And what does that do for, if Finn wins, what does that do for him and the Judgment Day and that whole, it pushes that further on. So just based on storyline impact alone, I would have to say Finn Balor wins the match.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and maybe Edge wins and it's the close to the chapter, but at that point, it does more. Again, like, what is Edge going to do after this? That is going to be more important than what the Judgment Day is going to do after. I mean, we say it's like Finn Balor's like 4 years younger than Edge. It's not like he's 20 years old. But
True.
I don't know. I think the Judgment Day has more gas right now than Edge does.
I do too.
And
And it's not, Edge is not, Jay, I think
he's doing
uh,
he's doing TV now, so
mhm.
it's like what I mean.
I really think you said it
I
best. What does he have to do that's more important than what the Judgment Day is doing right now?
Yep. So, and spoiler alert, Rhea is going to be the women's champion. So,
Well, and I was just fixing to ask you about that because that's our next match is Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. And I was saying this before you got here, but if they will do this match the way they've done the brawling outside of the ring, just
yeah,
the
the
straight
build for this
fighting.
match has been terrible.
Well, no, I'm not even worried about the build. The promos have been terrible, but when they turn them loose and they just start beating on each other, if they can translate that to the ring, that's going to be insane.
Yeah, no, that'll
I
be
still think
awesome.
Rhea
But
wins,
just,
but
and again, that's just one of those things that uh, Charlotte's done it all, and it's about time. I mean, 14. She's gonna get 16 times at least to
match your
be
daddy.
like her. Yeah, match her daddy, but if not more. But 14 times. It's she doesn't really need a title to be in the main event. You know what I mean? Like, you put Charlotte Flair on a card, she's gonna be. It doesn't matter if it's for a title or not. People are gonna tune in to see it.
So there's a lot of talk about the implications this match has. So Rhea Ripley wins, Charlotte Flair loses the title and goes away for a little while. People are asking, well, is she going after something she said? Uh, are they going to let her and Andrade do something? For those that don't know, Andrade's her husband. He's over in AEW, but are they going to let them do some kind of crossover something? There's a lot of
No
talk
shot.
about it.
No, that's not happening.
I kind of feel the same
Ain't
way,
no
but
way.
it would be nice, you know?
Yeah, and the only way they're doing anything together is if Andrade gets cut like he's been trying to do. I mean, he punched Sammy Guevara in the face and got suspended for like 3 months trying to get cut so he could go back to WWE.
True.
But he was he was one of Triple H's babies too in NXT. Like, Andrade really got over in NXT, and then of course Vince McMahon floundered that like he did every other NXT call up besides Kevin Owens, and really Kevin Owens. Um,
Well, I
that's
mean,
it.
you've got Finn. I mean, Finn was an NXT call up.
And what did he do with Finn? I mean,
He's
Finn
in
had
the,
one like main event push.
he got
Yeah.
injured.
Well, and then what did he do with him after that? Cody got injured. Where's Cody at right now?
You make a valid point.
I mean, Johnson. How many times did Randy Orton get injured?
When Cody
How many
came
times
back,
did John
Vince
Cena
wasn't.
get injured?
When Cody came back, Vince wasn't in charge.
Yeah, but whenever John Cena came back, and the day he came back, got a title shot. When
Fair.
Triple H was handed a title when he got back from injury. Like Eric Bischoff just was like, "Here, I'm going to give it to Triple H." I mean,
All right. Okay. Well, before we get your blood pressure up, let's go ahead and move into the main event for night one, which of course is the the undisputed tag titles. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus your boys the Usos. There are so many directions this match could go. There's so many after effects that this match could have.
I feel like you got to give Sammy his moment, and Sammy has the KO and Sammy have to win this match for fan service. I think. I mean, the Usos have been doing what they've been doing for so long. It's time to put a spotlight on some other teams, because at that point you can split the titles back up or something. You
True.
can. The Judgment Day, they can fight for the Raw titles. Something along those lines. Because aside from Rhea winning a championship, like, what are they going to do with the Judgment Day after that? You need somebody to compete for the titles.
True.
And whenever the Usos have had them for at this point, it's the Usos and Roman. It's like when they're in a match, it's like, all right, it's going to be a good match, but how are they going to pull this off?
Right. You
They're
start
going to
looking
pull
for
it
how
off
they're going to
somehow,
win.
some way. Yes. So it's like,
I agree.
I think
Go ahead.
KO and Sammy win.
And I agree. I think it goes to KO and Sammy, not just for fan service, but because of what happens after. You put the tag titles on KO and Sami Zayn, the Usos have to start battling to get their titles back. And I feel, personal feeling, and I think you may agree with it, if they lose at Mania, they're going to go on a bit of a losing streak, and they're going to start going back to individual wrestling. They're going to go back to singles action, and I've got a whole 6-month plan on where that goes that we'll talk about another time.
Yeah.
But I think that's what happens, and if taking the titles off of them at Mania allows that to happen, allows them to get to the point where they start going singles action again.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess I've never seen Jimmy really in singles action. Jay is definitely the more he's the Jeff Hardy of uh the duo,
Yeah.
Everyone looks at it as like, all right, I like what this guy brings. But I hope it's not like a nasty split if they do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think Jey Uso they have to have some sort of closure to the whole Jey and Roman thing, and I hope that comes eventually. But I don't know. I just don't know what you do with Jimmy as a single star. That's my big thing.
I really think if you split them up and they start going singles action, I think, just like you said, Jay's going after Roman. He's going to go after Roman, and without going into my whole 6-month theory, he's going to go for the belt. Roman's going to cause a problem with him getting the belt. He's going to go after Roman. So, as you said, what does that do with Jimmy? I think you put Jimmy over in the United States title runs. You put him in that group with, Seth Rollins and Theory and Montez Ford, and you put him in that group. And what you do that allows both of them to go for belts, things like that. But it also makes a huge pop whenever the Usos come back together.
Yeah, true. And what Lady Guapo just said, no, Solo is going to be a main eventer. He's going to get fast tracked pretty quick.
I could see that though. Jimmy and Solo going after some tag matches after Jay leaves. Like they have the breakup.
Yeah, I mean, I could see a few matches, but I think Solo has more. I think Jay, he started the whole thing, got to finish it.
Yeah.
But I think Solo has a more promising solo career than Jay does. But
no, and I see, I talk about them splitting the Usos up. The long play on that is putting the Usos back together. That's what, looking out 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road, the long play on that is to bring the Usos back together. And when they do, it's going to be awesome. But we both have the same idea. KO and Zayn win the match, but those are the reasons I think
WrestleMania, baby.
KO Mania.
Yeah, WrestleMania is better.
I can't disagree.
I also want to go back. Well, I'll wait till we get to that. We'll when we get to that, we'll talk about it.
Okay, let's move into the second match of night 2. You've got Brock and Omos.
I was not a fan of. I think you said this earlier. I was not a fan when this match was booked. I was like, "What is going on?" But it is slowly growing on me. I think it's going to be a pretty good match. They're doing the whole weigh-in tomorrow. I think that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
But I think again, a lot of similar situations that I'm just now kind of realizing to Cena Edge.
Mm-hmm.
You can do more after this with Omos than you can with Brock. Omos will benefit more from going over on Brock than Brock would benefit from going over on Omos. So I just think that it makes sense for Omos to win this match.
I agree with it. And those who know me, those who've been listening to the podcast, know that I'm a storytelling guy. The storylines have to be there. And I don't know if you were listening earlier when I said it, but like Rick said last night, if the storyline's right, you could do drop toe holds all night as long as the story's right. But from a storytelling aspect and a storyline aspect, I'm with you. I think Omos has to win this one because Brock doesn't gain anything other than, I beat a 17-foot tall dude.
Yeah, but it's like Brock's done it all already. Everybody knows Brock. Nobody really, wants to fight Brock. You know what I mean? And everybody knows you step in the ring with Brock, he's gonna whoop your ass. But
I don't want this to be a Brock goes away match though, because I ain't gonna lie. I used to hate watching Brock Lesnar. I used to couldn't stand Brock, but ever since he came back, ever since he's come back as Happy Brock, I love it. I love everything that man does.
So, he's definitely his post Heyman era has been very, very good.
Which I'll talk about that when we get to it. There's something I need to say about that too. That takes us to our third match. Logan Paul, the man with the right hand, versus Seth freaking Rollins. I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
Man, I'm gonna say Seth Rollins wins. I mean, I don't know. It just it depends really. Like, what are the plans with Logan Paul after this? Is he still just gonna be the I'll show up a couple shows? I don't know. I think Rollins wins it. Rollins already got beat at last Mania.
Yep.
By somebody that just returned and who is now obviously fighting for the Universal Championship. But at the time, it was like, well, what are we going to do with Cody? And nobody really knew. He lost to him. I think Seth should definitely, especially with how much Logan has gone over on Seth in the entire build-up to the match.
And that point exactly is what makes me point towards Seth Rollins winning this one. I can't see where this does anything to further Logan Paul. Don't get me wrong. Every match Logan, as much as I don't want to be able to say this, every match Logan Paul has been in has been an absolute banger. Like, the man does good matches, but he's done 4.
Yeah, and he's a real. Granted, they're great, but he's a real spot man. I mean, that's what he's there for the spot, and like I said, he does a great job with the spot every time.
Oh yeah,
but he's really there for the crowd pop, the notoriety, I think. Which the only thing that I can see, I've seen lots of things about Logan and Cena at SummerSlam. So maybe he could. I don't know how beating Seth would tie into that at all.
I don't either.
But I think Seth has to win it.
Yeah, I give it to Seth. And I'm going to move through these next ones a little quicker just because we have about 15 minutes left. I want to make sure we get them all in. Our next match after that's going to be, we've already talked about the ladies. Now we've got the guys in their tag showcase match. And it's an interesting setup. You've got Ricochet and Strowman versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders. And if I can't even start to tell you how excited I am that the Street Profits are in this. I said it earlier. Montez Ford deserves to be in WrestleMania, period. End of story. No questions asked.
You can't sleep. I mean, yes, Montez does, but Angelo Dawkins is really good
Angelo
too.
Dawkins is great. As a team, they have to be there.
Yeah, no, 100%. And really, I feel like this is a match between, as far as who's going to win, it's between Ricochet and Braun and the Street Profits. Because the Viking Raiders, I just...
Me beat on you.
Yeah, I don't see them as a real, threat in the tag division right now. And maybe they put them over to change that. I don't know. But... And then, of course, the Chad Gable's about to get a singles push, so that's why the male models or whatever will make an appearance to steer Otis off. But I think it's going to come down to Braun and Ricochet and the Street Profits, and
now
I don't know if you saw on SmackDown, they were talking trash about both of them being bald, and
Uh-oh.
Braun and Ricochet had something to say about that.
So, Lady Guapo said this earlier, and I couldn't agree with it more. How awesome is it going to be? And I know I'm saying a whole lot about it, but how awesome is it going to be to catch Ricochet and Montez Ford in the ring together at the same time?
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. I didn't realize how big Angelo Dawkins was
Oh,
until
he's
he was
huge.
standing next to Braun Strowman. I was like, this dude's only like 2 inches shorter than Braun. What's going on here?
Yeah, yeah. Angelo Dawkins is huge, and he moves so
Yeah.
well for a big guy.
Yeah.
Same with Braun. Braun moves really well for a big dude. So
Yeah.
so you know it's coming down to Ricochet and Strowman and Street Profits, but who wins?
I'm gonna say Ricochet and Braun win because the Street Profit. I do think Montez is gonna get like. I think the first feud outside of Mania for Theory is gonna be Montez Ford.
I
So
could see that.
having them fight for the tag titles doesn't make any sense.
I have to disagree. And this is the first time I think in this setup that we have disagreed. I think the Street Profits take it absolutely. Now, do I think they win the tag titles? No, I don't. I think this gets them a match for the tag titles. They don't win the titles. Then the split between them happens into singles. And then I agree with you wholeheartedly. Tez goes on to face Austin Theory. But I think they win this match.
But the stipulation, like whoever wins is going, they get a chance at the tag titles.
Exactly. I think they win this match and they win that chance. I don't think they win the tag titles. They lose
So
that
what do
match.
you do in that time? But then, so you're going to build this up for Backlash. So what do you do with Theory before Backlash?
I'm sure there's somebody out there that could take on Theory for a month or two while they get Tez ready in this other storyline.
I don't know. I think because they've already been doing it. You know, the storyline they've already been building this before Mania. So I think
True.
it takes place after Mania. I mean,
Well,
that's what I think. I think Braun and Ricochet go over.
and I'm gonna stand behind it being the Street Profits. So that's our first disagreement there.
That's what's going to win me the night right there.
Yeah, we'll see about that. So
Yeah,
the next match we have is the triple threat for the Intercontinental title. I am excited about this one.
You tell me first who you think's going to win this one. I want to hear what you got to say about this one.
My heart says, please, oh wrestling gods, let Sheamus win this match because it's the only belt he hasn't gotten. And so in my heart, I want Sheamus to win. Do I think he's going to? Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think Sheamus takes it. I think that Sheamus and McIntyre get into it and it leads to a beef that leads to an opportunity. I think Gunther retains.
I think Sheamus is going to win. And this is going to lead to a Sheamus McIntyre feud. And Gunther is going to go from the Intercontinental title to whoever is holding the undisputed titles at that point in time.
And see, I think there still has to be some more build.
Star.
He is absolutely, but he still needs a little more.
You think Gunther needs a little more to be in the main event?
To be in the main event for the title, seeing as they're gonna, well, I don't want to say seeing as they're gonna put it on somebody, but given the two people that are in contention for the title right now, I don't see him being able to carry that match. Not
Did you
yet.
watch the Royal Rumble?
I did. I was actually at your house sitting beside you while we were watching it.
But were you watching it? Did you watch the mini match him and Cody had in the Rumble?
I did. I saw
after
it.
He was in there for like an hour. You don't think he could carry a match with Cody
or Roman, whoever wins?
Yeah,
we're not to that match yet. We're not to that match yet. I just don't see it yet. I feel like he keeps the title a little bit longer just because, kind of like Roman is with the world title. He's such a dominant force in that IC title. You know, let's figure out what we're going to do over here before we bring him into it. So that's why I think he keeps it at least till Backlash.
I think I don't know. Yeah. Okay. This is the one that's winning. Oh wait. Yeah. This is the one that's winning me tonight. I lied. This is the one.
Okay.
I feel with wholeheartedly that Sheamus is going to win this.
I want him to. Like I said, I want so much for Sheamus to win this one.
I would bet my house payment. Just
all
kidding.
All right,
Wouldn't do
chat.
that.
You heard it. Who all's in?
No, my wife would shoot me.
All right, so that brings us to Bianca and Asuka.
Asuka.
It's gonna be a great match, but I've got Asuka.
Yeah, Asuka's performing at a whole nother level right now. I mean, Bianca too, of course. She's been doing great. It's not that Bianca's not doing great, but Asuka has just been since the Rumble just been on a tear, and I think it culminates in a championship.
Oh,
yeah,
I agree wholeheartedly. This one's Asuka. The push she's been getting, the way she's been upping her game, there's no question. And I'm going to tell you guys right now.
The redheaded brother.
I just read that. I was going to tell everybody out there that's listening, if you've never met the guy, all he's got to do is say fella, and that's it. It's over. It's the new Sheamus.
Yep.
All right. So we got about 9 minutes left, and that brings us to the one. That brings us to the match. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes.
Ooh. I don't know. Like you said, I heard you say it earlier. There's just, and first off, it genuinely, you couldn't hear me when I said this earlier. It genuinely hurt my heart to say that you said to see you say this was going to be a snooze fest. Like, did you know Elimination Chamber? That was
Lady Guapo. That wasn't me.
Yeah. No, Elimination Chamber. Awesome match Roman put on. You talk about Roman not being in the ring. He wasn't in the ring before Elimination Chamber, and he absolutely killed it at Elimination Chamber.
Facts.
And then you said Cody has put on bangers every week, like the Chad Gable match, banger. The Ludwig Kaiser match he had this Friday, who I think totally underrated. Definitely, I don't know if he's going to be like main event, but he's going to be in the WWE for a long time.
Agreed.
And then tomorrow he's fighting Solo, which I think that's going to end in like a DQ somehow, some way.
Whoa. I don't know what Syraf is out here doing or Seraph's out here doing, but one pump chump. Calm down there, killer.
No sound for
it. So, where do you see this match going?
Oh, man. Okay. This is the one that might lose me. I don't know.
6 minutes to tear this match apart.
Oh my gosh, there's just so many like avenues, like all roads lead to I don't know. It's all roads lead to Roman, but I don't know where they go after that. Oh man. Who do you think's gonna win? Give me time to just talk to my gut a little.
I put the belt on Cody. Roman loses the title to Cody. Roman goes away for an extended period of time. He comes back whenever, as I said earlier, with the Usos losing and splitting up, he comes back just in time to keep Jay from getting a title match. That sets up Jay and Roman. I 100% put the belt on Cody Sunday night.
I've seen reports too that like Papa H is trying to get rid of the Universal title and bring back the World Heavyweight Championship.
That could be cool.
And I think there's no better. I mean, to do that, you have to end the Universal Championship streak.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Cody will go over.
I couldn't agree more.
It's the only way, and it might have to do with. No, it's got to be clean. It's got to have for Cody to have any. Yeah, for Cody to have any validity, it's got to be clean.
And that validity for Cody is exactly why I think Cody takes it, because if Roman Reigns wins, then what was all this build up to this match for?
Yeah, and I think that, like you said with Gunther, I think Cody. You talk about your 6-month plan. Mine is Gunther is going to be the first like big challenger for Cody. He may have like a Finn Balor or somebody that you know is probably not going to beat Cody, but for like backlash. But I think come SummerSlam, it's going to be Gunther and Cody for the championship, and I think Cody might lose that. But.
And I'm perfectly fine with that because I feel like it's SummerSlam where we're going to see Jay and Roman. So
yeah, and I think that would be awesome. That's the main reason too. I think Roman has to lose because there has to be a close. I've seen some going a little off topic, crazy. What's going to happen to your mind whenever Sammy blasts KO in the back with a chair and costs Cody the match, and it was all a big play by the Bloodline the whole time?
Okay, I need you to stop with your blasphemies. You need to calm down there, sir.
I saw something about that, and I was just like, man, my head would literally explode.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We have our picks in. I've got them written down. We're going to see who comes out on top with this. Thank you to everybody in the chat.
Everyone who's followed tonight, appreciate it.
Ryan Justice, your Squared Circle Pro champion. Thank you for joining us tonight. Always great to have you out here. Can't wait to see you do it again. Man, what a match that was last night.
Yeah, I am looking forward. Okay, so one of my favorite matches last night was the Tino and Phoenix match. I'm looking forward to seeing Ryan Justin and Tino. I genuinely enjoy. Tino is probably one of my favorite wrestlers I've seen in person. He really connected with the crowd, I think. And
absolutely.
His moveset, him and Phoenix, had an awesome match, and I'm looking forward to watching Ryan Justice and Tino Valentino.
Could that happen May 20th at Tornado Slam? I think that it could. I'd be happy to see what happens. Yep. But again, thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody that's followed us. Thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for letting us use Head Rush. The album is called Monsters.
And no thank you to Bruce for not doing his homework.
Homework's important, boys and girls. We got about 3 minutes. Final thoughts as we get ready for WrestleMania.
Super excited. This is like the best time of year for wrestling, in my opinion. Every scene, independent, AEW, New Japan, every bit of wrestling, I feel like gets more attention at this time of year. Yep. And it's awesome to see. This is the boom season for wrestling, And,
absolutely.
I want to see a lot of, I want to see all the independents. I want to see WWE. I want to see everybody capitalize on it.
Absolutely.
Because it's exciting. It keeps us, talking about things, keeps us happy, keeps you guys happy. I don't know. Really excited. Can't wait to talk about Mania next week.
It's gonna be good times. I'm excited for Mania too. I know the chat between me and you is gonna be fire because we're gonna be talking all about it. We will be on here next week talking about the results from Mania, so make sure you tune in 9:00 Sunday nights. We'll do it again then. Remember, a big thanks to our boys out of BCW. We've got Emilio Guzman and the War Chief going to be mixing it up May the 6th. You're not going to want to miss that. Big thank you again to Rick and Squared Circle Pro for letting us be a part of your night. That was absolutely awesome.
So much fun.
And with that, we hope that our podcast tonight has showed you why we are not your average marks. We'll see y'all next week.
Bang, bang.
I'm gonna drink it all away and find my head rush.